The wind off the Atlantic cut sharp through the morning haze as a silver sedan rolled to a stop at the main gate of Naval Support Base Sentinel Harbor. Floodlights hummed overhead, catching the pale blue of the woman's eyes as she stepped out, one hand steadying the strap of a heavy duffel. She wore jeans, a faded navy hoodie, and boots scuffed from long miles. Nothing official, nothing remarkable, just another traveler blending into the gray monotony of the base. The guard in the booth didn't even rise. He shifted the toothpick in his mouth and accepted her ID with a perfunctory glance. Thompson. Civilian clothing. No urgency. He waved her on, already thinking of his coffee break and the fleeting excitement of the sports scores. Behind him, two Marines leaned against a concrete barrier, sipping coffee and trading jokes about the incompetence of the day. A shrugging acceptance of the habitual flaws at Sentinel Harbor. Another transfer from logistics, one muttered with a smirk, dismissing her with a lazy wave. Hope she can file faster than the last one. Their laughter followed her as she crossed the threshold, but she didn't answer. She didn't look back. Her focus was unshakable. Every step was a survey, a silent assessment of a world left to decay. Chipped paint masked corroded metal. Oil-stained pavement reflected years of ignored spills. Iridescent sheen indicated chemical leaks. Exposed equipment, rusting communication relays, corroded support bolts, all meticulously noted. Fire extinguishers and life vests, past their certification, marked a culture of negligence that extended to life-saving systems. The very air carried the scent of decay. Stale brine, jet fuel vapors, metallic corrosion. She moved like a seasoned analyst conducting a forensic inventory, not as an outsider, but as a judge poised to measure the depth of rot. She cataloged bureaucracy that prioritized appearances over operational reality, mapping failures and policy loopholes, noting the names of those responsible. Sentinel Harbor was a labyrinth of neglect, waiting for the next storm to reveal the inevitable consequences. No one knew the truth of her identity. The freedom to observe without expectation was crucial. The new girl wasn't a clerk. She was Rear Admiral Emily Thompson, the harbor's new commanding officer, arriving with the cold resolve of someone who would execute inefficiency without hesitation. Her uniform, etched in memory rather than fabric, carried decades of experience. But today, she walked unnoticed, blending into the background with a faded hoodie and a duffel holding only a fraction of her accumulated achievements. She preferred merit through action, not display. By the third morning, Thompson crouched behind a storage locker in Dock 4, her hands sticky with hydraulic fluid, documenting a blatant hazmat violation. A catch basin, filled with sand and covered by tarps, concealed a spill missed or deliberately ignored by inspections. The metallic stench of oil and neglected machinery confirmed systemic decay. Lieutenant Commander Hayes barked orders about paperwork, oblivious to the far more dangerous breach she was recording. She straightened deliberately, wiping her hands on a saturated rag. Her posture shifted from weary traveler to unshakable authority, a living statue of competence. Hayes felt the weight of her silence, the pressure thick and cold, compelling him to stop mid-command. His mind raced, but she spoke no word. Instead, she lifted her left hand, revealing a gold pin engraved with 4 stars, her rank pinned casually on a civilian hoodie. The dock lights caught the glint as he realized the full truth. She had observed every misstep for 72 hours, every neglectful act cataloged in devastating detail. Thompson returned to the spill, capturing her final photograph. Hayes stood frozen, the rag's wet thump echoing the finality of his professional undoing. Her reforms began quietly but decisively. Teams arrived unannounced to fix the most critical issues, guided by her photographic evidence and budgetary authority. Funds were reallocated from ceremonial displays to deferred maintenance. Junior personnel who reported failures were rewarded, breaking the culture of fear. Under her watch, Sentinel Harbor transformed into a family of competence, humility, and accountability. When the storm EO 300 struck, the base faced a true test. Power grids failed, gates were compromised, but Thompson, calm and precise, managed the crisis with preemptive foresight. Engineering teams acted immediately on her instructions, addressing the real vulnerabilities while official reports panicked over minor alarms. Her authority stemmed not from rank alone, but from intimate knowledge, earned through observation and decisive action. She taught her team that small failures predict catastrophes, that professionalism means ensuring survival, not just appearances. Sentinel Harbor, once defined by mediocrity, became a model of integrity, readiness, and trust. Sailors wore their uniforms with pride, systems functioned reliably, and the culture of blame dissolved into one of accountability. The culmination came not with ceremony, but recognition. 3 vice admirals arrived to review the transformation. Lieutenant Commander Hayes, stripped of authority, guided them to her office, a ghost of arrogance past. Thompson emerged in full uniform, her stars gleaming in the morning sun. Her stride commanded attention. The vice admiral saluted her immediately, ignoring Hayes, whose authority and career were silently invalidated. Leadership, she showed, is not demanded, it is earned. Observation, action, and unwavering integrity defined her command. Rear Admiral Emily Thompson rebuilt Sentinel Harbor, one repaired fault and one quiet decision at a time. Within 6 months, doubt and cynicism gave way to trust, readiness, and pride. The silent lessons she instilled lived on in every mission, every salute, and every life that depended on the systems she restored. She never sought applause. She sought only truth, competence, and mission readiness. And through quiet diligence, she left a legacy louder than any speech could ever convey.